Good morning, everyone. It is 6:40. That means it's time to check in with Ron Hayes, who's in the field.
Howdy, neighbors. Good morning, everybody. So glad to be along with you today. Joining us this morning, Clay Pope. Clay is with the Oklahoma Association of Conservation Districts. And Clay, thanks for being with us today. And some exciting news as far as state of Oklahoma is concerned, being recognized by the federal government, by EPA, for a lot of the efforts we're doing with clean water work, trying to improve our water standards here in the state of Oklahoma. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. You know, we're very excited. You know, last year, Oklahoma was one of the top 5 states in the nation in addressing non-point source pollution, not through regulations or lawsuits, but with voluntary efforts that were done on the ground by farmers and ranchers and other landowners. We're seeing that same success again this year. In fact, EPA came out last week and said that this was the most successful year nationwide on addressing water quality concerns through with non-point source pollution efforts on the ground. And nationwide, Oklahoma accounted for over 10% of the success stories that happened. We lead the region, the south central part of the state, in successes that we're seeing in reducing non-point source pollution out of water, and we're one of the national leaders in doing that as well. So we're very excited about that. So often you hear about the bad things that are happening, but farmers and ranchers, through voluntary locally led conservation, through partnerships with the Conservation Commission, local conservation districts, and the Natural Resources Conservation Service at USDA, are working to do things on the land to make sure that our water is protected, and we're very excited to see the federal government recognize this and to see the success that's happening in Oklahoma.
Now, we see a lot of times the focus on eastern Oklahoma with some of the water problems of the Illinois River and the like, but central Oklahoma, we've got a lot of success stories as well.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the first ways we often address non-point source pollution is through what's called a 319 project, which is part of the Clean Water Act. It's money that comes through EPA that goes out and establishes a cost share program, or that's how we do it in Oklahoma, to work with producers to address water quality issues in a geographic region. The producers in the North Canadian River watershed several years ago said, we want to do something to try to address some of the challenges that we're seeing here. Dollars are flowing out there. We have producers that are signing up today to do water quality work in that critical watershed. And actually, if you look at some of the challenges that we're seeing on the river, agriculture's already stepped up to the plate and done a lot of its share to make sure that the water in the Oklahoma River and the water that's going for Oklahoma City's human consumption is being protected for the future. So we're very excited about that. We're glad to see the producers step up to the table. In fact, one of the things that we're very proud of in Oklahoma is the fact that every time we've started one of these water quality efforts, we always run out of money before we run out of producers that want to cooperate. And I think that's a real testimony to the stewardship ethic of a lot of the farmers and ranchers out there. And we're excited to see this success happen on the ground and to see EPA recognize what's going on in the state.
Great voluntary efforts, Clay. Appreciate your time this morning. Clay Pope with the Oklahoma Association of Conservation Districts joining us. We remind you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can check out the latest on our agricultural news scene at OklahomaFarmReport.com and be listening to us on great radio stations all across the state on the Radio Oklahoma Network, a service of Griffin Communications.